Hello. Good morning. My name is Brian Jennings. This is my channel. It's dedicated to discussing whatever the fuck I want to discuss, right? Which for a long time has been the nature of my relationship with Quentin Tarantino, the movie critic. Right? I'm a classical actor who wrote Quentin a series of letters about playing the lead in the movie critic, which set into motion a sequence of events which led to him canceling the film and ultimately led to where we are now. The whole story is exhausting. It's the subject of a novel I've written, Building a Coven, which is an excellent novel, and I need to keep working on it, I know. I sent Quentin a scene about a writer yelling at people for reading his writing. A writer's notebook is an extension of their soul. That's what I said in the scene. This book is an extension of my soul. When you touch it, you violate me. Right? And of course, actors are mainly pansies, right? Right? Oh, tee hee hee hee. Oh, we're so bad. Right? And I let them all know that if that's what's occurring here, no one has permission to do that. And you shouldn't be that way. That's common honesty, respect, boundaries, right? What if I was a woman? What if that was a woman's notebook? Would you just open it and read it? Right? When I acted in The Merchant of Venice, they set up some joke without talking about me, where he puts a coin like in his crotch, like in his codpiece. And when he tried to hand it to me on stage, I said no. And when they asked me about it, I said, you put something in your genitals and expect me to take it without talking about it? Right? Would you do that to a woman? Right? That's a conversation. Right? That type of show business? No. So, I went to bed really early because I got really drunk 2 nights ago. I suppose I'm getting older. I know Quentin's aged me measurably, but I just don't like drinking a lot unless I'm like eating mushrooms or something. I want to get back to that place where I can eat acid and mushrooms again. I don't know. As far as the two of us, right? I sent those letters to David Berlinski, Trey Anastasio, Christopher Nolan's agent, Dan Aloni. If Christopher Nolan read it, then that's right, because it has. It's been getting better. I can't trust that, right? No one does all of this and expect us to, right, persist in this way for 20 years. That's right. And I have no choice. Right? And so I guess he doesn't either. If he just doesn't want to see me, doesn't want to embrace me, doesn't want to say, you fucked me, but I forgive you. Because that's like, just as far as mental health, right? But I have no choice but to assume that he wants me to die. That wouldn't make anything better. Right? So, on the creative front, I'm putting my model together, and what I'll say is, here's the first decagon, right? And it's pretty fucking hideous, honestly. Maybe I have model fatigue, and I'm gonna finish it just because I've done so much. But I got my 3 yards of fabric. I don't really have the right scissors. And I'm gonna make a shirt. And then see how it goes. Well, as far as actually putting it together, stitching it together. I stitched the button on my pants today. That's one of the first things I've done. Right, I woke up at the witching hour, maybe 4 o'clock. worked for a time, and then I stopped, and I took a shower, and now I'm working again. I'm torn because, you know, I applied for disability, but I really want to go back to work. I want to make money, you know. I suppose that's what I'm doing now, is I'm trying to find a way to make money. If I can sell clothes for cash to hip young people. I suppose moving forward after this model, I'll likely go to the makerspace. There's a university just up the street from here, at the college, and offer someone a nominal fee, and then start bringing in 4x8 sheets of plexiglass or wood, or, you know, something of that nature, and then have them cut out each of these. And then I'll cut. Right, you can't fold it if it's a stiffer material, you know, but I'll cut it with a handsaw. And then I can put an LED light in it and sell them more permanent model. Right, I'm moving on. I have to be able to talk about it. I have to be able to write about it. Right? I didn't do this. Right? I suspect they all read it. No, I don't know. They're all playing the famous, oh, we're famous, so we don't have to talk to you. And they don't have to. They don't have to. Right? I know that. The movie's been made. I suspect he shot my scene last because it requires the most expenditure of energy. Right? And so, I don't know what he tells people. Right? I felt compelled to write Dan Maloney. I felt like he left me no choice. Right? He leaves me no choice in maintaining this condition between us. Right? It's a pathological psychology that we both have. Sure, we wear it well. We wear it well. Right? We're both looking out, right, to the things we can control. Right? But my point is that all that's left is evil. That's all that's left. There's nothing pleasant, right? As soon as he revealed to me that everything about the daughter was bullshit, and it's too much to go into now, but that's the subject of my novel, Building a Coven, I realized, right, oh, you're just a wicked, evil man, right? Who wants to torture me until I kill myself. To subject me to such a level of torture and humiliation that right, suicide is the only option. And I'll never do that, right? I'm a coward, right? Like that's, right? Someone calls it the coward's way out, but right? I suppose I'm more Roman, right? That while it's cowardly as far as like, no, God should decide, you shouldn't decide. It's an act of great bravery. But I don't want to do that. I don't have to be a movie star. I was arrogant after Tribeca. I knew that he was using my scene. And in that way, I was a child. I was a child, for sure. What I should have said when I wrote Mike the first time was, obviously I wasn't ready. All the best. You pay me if you use my scene. That's right. There's nothing wrong with simple honesty, right? There's nothing wrong with not wanting to trust the voice in your head. So, he thinks otherwise, right? And so, no matter what he says, right, we're mortal enemies. That's it. I don't treat him like my enemy. I don't do anything. But every time that I watch something now, right, it's seasoned a little bit, like with with the bile of it all. I was watching something about the history of radio. Right? My mind is getting very sophisticated. I suspect this is a part of his fear, right? And this is part of my fear, right? That he's done a bunch of fucked up shit to me, right? Bunch of awful shit that no one would ever forgive, right? And so, knowing that, right? He's supposed to just pay me. He's supposed to pay me $50 million, let me loose in the world, right? Like he's a dark dude, right? And anybody could have guessed that, right? But now I'm palpable proof, right? And so what I'm saying is that he's afraid to pay me because, right? If he was me, right? I'm not evil. Doesn't interest me. Torture a man, right? That's right. I thought that was right. These are things that I thought they did in the 1400s, right? But I suppose someone's always been doing it. Right? But I'm not fighting him, right? He's the only one who's fighting. He's fighting the demons within himself, right? Because he doesn't know how to be simple and honest. Right? And this actor that he thought would give him what he wanted, no problem, walked away from being a movie star because he would rather have honor. He would rather keep his mind. Right? And I've regretted it enough, right? Given how he's behaved, I don't regret it anymore. Like he's not cool. He's a dangerous, ugly, evil man who poisons my mind with ugly visions of evil. Therefore, I have no choice but to assume that I have to always be on guard. And I know that there's nothing I can do about it. I am also aware of that. As far as coping mechanisms. I wanted to give him everything that he wanted. But right, I didn't want to. I didn't want it to be a mind game in that moment. And that's my fault. I should have known. Of course. So, hopefully I'll be able to stop talking about it soon. But I'm not going to. Until months have passed and there is no evil. I feel no evil. Right? So, that's what this channel is for. To let everyone know, right, that Quentin puts me in a state psychologically as a result of his, right, clairvoyant mind prowess. And I could play the same game, right? Anyone can. But in so doing, I give him an excuse to escalate. And he's shown me a real darkness. Maybe it's just him busting my balls, right? Being an arrogant asshole, sure. But I can't stop talking about it. Because then he has a real cause to kill me. You know, why would you ever turn a movie into such a big deal? I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense to me. Right? Could have just paid me $2 million, $3 million, $5 million for my scene, said you blew it, and went about his life, right? Instead, he spent, what was that, from June until April, right? And of course, it's still going on now, but in April, he announced, April Fool's Day, right? He announced that David Fincher was directing his script, and that's a lie. That's not true, right? Right? So I think I'm going to write David Fincher a letter. I'm going to figure out how to write him a letter, an actual physical letter. Does he know what he put his name on? Does he understand what's occurring? Right? And again, like, he'll always deny, right? He'll always deny. At some point, right? The people around him have to start wondering. Like, Brian's been very consistent. He's said the same thing the entire time. Right? But that's June to 6. That's 10 months. That's a 10-month campaign. Right? And so why did he say that he was selling that script? Right? It's because I started emailing aemanuel at William Morris Endeavor. That's why. Because I told him I'm coming clean. Right? Oh gosh. Crazy guy. Right? Any journalist who doesn't look into this has no journalistic integrity. Right? But this is a real story. So, see what's good in your life? The things that Quentin and I do, right? More so him, but I can do it too. Hearken to the intellectual origin of life. That life is a psychic, intellectual pressure upon space. And when you are aware of your ability as a conscious creature to manipulate the conscious field, you can in fact behave like God. This is how nuns heal the sick, right? And then on the other side of that, right, which is what I've been embroiled in for a long time now, you can use, which is far easier, right? You can use your mind to try to destroy someone. So it's really scary, right? Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. God bless.